Hello. This day in 2001 saw the premiere of the Lord of the Rings trilogy of films. The first one, Fellowship of the Ring, based, of course, on J.R.R. Tolkien's series of books of that name. They were written apparently initially. The ideas came into his mind while he was recovering in hospital from trench fever, which he caught serving in the front line in the Battle of the Somme. But he escaped the actual battle because he was sent home. He was so ill. But these ideas emerged during his period of recovery, and I think perhaps some of the bleak landscapes and the effects of violent warfare that come in the books may be a reflection of his experience in the First World War. But I was interested to see that he kept these ideas, this language that he'd invented, this fantastic series of characters that he was coming up with. He kept them to himself. He thought they were a bit too fantastic to share, until one day he took the bold step of showing them with a group called the Inklings. This was an Oxford group of people who shared each other's writings and commented on them, and among them was C.S. Lewis. And the feedback he got from this group was so positive that he felt able to go ahead and write further stories about the Fellowship of the Ring and to publish them. The friendship with C.S. Lewis was quite close. They often supported each other initially in their writing, but it could also be pretty vicious. The way they criticised each other's work was done in love and out of respect for what was true. But C.S. Lewis described the mutual exchange of criticism as verbal butchery on one occasion. It was pretty harsh. And eventually the friendship began to drift apart. C.S. Lewis became a Christian. He married someone who was a divorcee. Neither of these things did Tolkien approve of, and indeed Lewis didn't tell his friend Tolkien about the marriage until some time after it had happened. And their styles were very different. Tolkien took 17 years to write his trilogy, whereas C.S. Lewis wrote his 7 Narnia books in 7 years. They were very different in their approach, and it grew more different as they got older, and so the friendship began to drift apart. I thought, as I reflected on this, 3 things about friendship. One is how good it is when a friendship is strong enough for criticism to be really honest and true and sometimes quite biting and still not destroy the friendship. And this was certainly true of those two in the early years of their time of being fond of each other. The second thing is to reflect on how good it is when a friendship can survive big differences of opinion and a drifting apart of lifestyles, when that sort of thing doesn't actually drive us away from people that we have been fond of before. And thirdly, to look back on those friendships which actually have ended, where I have been friends with people but drifted apart from them, and to value the time that I was with them and what they brought into my life, but also not to be too regretful about the fact that for them and for me life has moved on and we don't need each other anymore. And so today, just some thoughts about friendship and just to celebrate it in all its different facets, but particularly in those 3.